Daddy mow the grass? So Dan's mowing the grass around the garden because we're going to put some berry bushes around it. So he'll mow the grass and then till the spaces. Good morning, friends. So since we last walked through the garden together, we've added about 1,000 more square feet. This first bed, or this bed here with all the greens, is where we had started last time. We've now added this row, and all of this, along with the very last row at the end. So let's see what's new. Okay, so this is now our first bed, first row of the garden. This starts out with yellow raspberry plants. We have 6 of those. Right now they are just sticks. We bought them from a nursery, Stark Brothers Nursery. And we have a big hole there because I may or may not put another blueberry here that's currently on the porch. And then we have, where do they start? So these are little sticks as well, but we have 5 blueberry plants in the second half of this space. Back here we went ahead and extended out the back row and filled it with more corn. So our corn will go from that end all the way to where you see the yellow flowers. Where are they? Right there. So all be corn. And then this bed here is full of tomatoes that I picked up for free at a grocery store. I happened to be at the bank one morning, and our local bank branch is inside a Remke grocery store. And when I walked out, I noticed that they had a shelf of plants free to a good home. And I'll be honest, I almost pulled my car up and took the whole shelf home. But I restrained myself. And I took 32 tomato plants and 6 broccoli. So they're all rather small right now. This one here that looks different is actually a pruning from one of my other tomato plants that I decided to put in the ground and see how it would do. So is that one. And the rest of them are actually doing pretty well since I brought them home. And then I planted marigold seeds in between each one. It doesn't look like any of those have come up yet. It's hard to tell. I need to go through here and do a lot of weeding. I've been doing so much planting, and then there's been so much rain that I haven't been able to really weed and tend to things. Oh, I also came out here and put some, what do they call it, mason line, or you call it twine, and some tent stakes. So I was looking for something really inexpensive to put out here because Ezra kept walking through the beds and I didn't want him to kill everything. So when I was planting, originally I had some string around everything, just some kite string, so that I could know where to plant, but then I had to move it as I went along because I only had so much of it. And then when I was done, I took it away. But I really needed something here, and it's helped a lot for Ezra to know where the paths are, for me to know where the paths are. I also did rework the watering system, but I haven't been able to use it yet because I finished it and then it rained for days straight. So, but what I did, and I've yet to see if it works, obviously, is give me this splitter. On the first, I have a soaker hose going over to that tomato bed over there. And then I have the gray hose going out to a sprinkler, which unfortunately has to be moved around every so often because it doesn't get the whole length of the garden. And if I run more than one sprinkler at a time, the water pressure is terrible. There's another soaker hose here going through all of the tomatoes so that they can be watered from underneath. And then the last gray one is another sprinkler over there. So we tried running soaker hoses through the whole thing and there wasn't enough water pressure to get through it all. You see this one's still here. I need to take out of this bed. And I think I'm just going to leave that one in there because I don't want to hurt all of these greens. Or I might now try to connect this big soaker hose because it works really well to this one and see if there's enough water pressure to get through those two. If I were to redo it and set up maybe soaker hose on each of these going to different parts of the garden, it might work better, but I just haven't been able to do that yet. So for now, we have sprinklers set up. If it ever stops raining and things dry out a little bit, we'll try out this system. I did do a pretty deep pruning of all of my tomatoes, and they've shot up since I did that, so I think they're happy with it. Some of them can maybe still use a little more pruning. While I was doing the tomatoes, I did get to weed a little bit around those, so that's nice. And then I have a volunteer tomato. I didn't plant that there. I'm guessing maybe it came from that plant. this poor tomato over here, I noticed one day it has a broken stem. And I don't know if you can tell, but I tried to stint it with some popsicle sticks. I can probably just pull off some of these leaves too, just to make it a little lighter and help it heal. But I think it's going to survive. The leaves were all looking like this for a few days, and I was a little afraid it wasn't going to make it. This is actually that tomato plant over there coming over. And I probably next time, lesson learned, I will stagger the tomatoes instead of putting them right across from each other. But anyway, so it looks like our leaves up here are staying green. I pruned it a bunch. I put a stint on it. I staked it and just trying to get it to heal. I think it just got too heavy and it bent over, and it actually broke vertically, not horizontally. So just keeping an eye on it. This part of this bed is still empty, and I need to figure out what I'm going to put in it. Too many options. But my second row of sunflowers are all coming up. If you can see all of those. These sunflowers. The extra space over here after the cantaloupe is open now since we expanded. And then this final row has black raspberries. So 6 of those. So we're going to have yellow raspberries on the other side, black raspberries on this side. And then more blueberries. 5 of those. And again, a hole in the middle where we can either make a path or add another blueberry from the porch. So 3 of these blueberries we got from the nursery with the raspberry plants. And then 2 of them I got clearance from Tractor Supply. So we'll see how they do. And then in this space over here is the extra broccoli that I got from Rumpke for free. And then this whole space here, 51-foot row, is strawberries, a row of strawberries. See, a bunch of them are growing already. I think these are the everbearers. So we might actually get a little bit of fruit this first season. There are 25 of these, and then there are 26 June bears, and those are the little black, let's see, that's not one, they're every foot. Those are the little black things. They have a little. Some of them have a little bit of growth on them. But I don't know if we'll get any fruit the first season from the June bearers. Just the everbearers. And there's the last strawberry. So we need to still move this pile a little bit. That's our compost pile. So that, and the chickens need to be moved too, but so that this path is open to the garden. And our Cornish Cross left this morning. Go visit the butcher. Going to freezer camp. Excuse the morning hair. We had 35 Cornish Cross because we brought 36 out here on grass, and then every day or every other day we were moving the tractor and the chicken tractor, and one of them caught their leg underneath as we were moving it and was hurt and wasn't able to move around much, and so not a very good life. We ended up calling it, and then we had 35. And we also took our egghead to the butcher, which is one of our hens that kept eating eggs. So the butcher is getting 36 today. We should get them back this afternoon. And I don't know if I have enough freezer space for 36 birds. We'll see. In my last garden tour, I forgot to show you guys the stuff on the deck. So all of these pots have either herbs or perennials of some sort, because I didn't have a permanent space for perennials, and I still really don't. We put the berries out in the garden, but I don't know that I want all the perennials out there. So we'll see. Still need to, these are sweet potato slips. If you remember, I chitted sweet potatoes, and now those need to be planted. And then these are regular potatoes. I think they might be russets that I need to cover with even more soil. I've covered them once and they've grown up more, so they need more. This is hyssop. This is dill. This is parsley. This is cilantro. It has already bolted, unfortunately. I wasn't great at harvesting it, and so it's bolted. This is mint, lemon balm, oregano. These are 2 more blueberry plants. This is half rosemary, half lavender, but not doing well at all. Let's see, a few rosemary here. but I think what's in the lavender is all weeds, maybe? I don't remember planting them so close to the edges. And then we have chives, tarragon. This is sweet basil and holy basil and sage. Back in that is some thyme, and then here are asparagus plants, and then I have echinacea, and oh, this is hyssop. So what was that other one over there? Oh, that little one on the end was St. John's wort. A lot of work still to do. Some weeding, obviously there's a lot of grass that's grown back, so pulling the grass, mulching, or I might do an experiment where I mulch some without weeding it and see if it'll kill out the weeds on its own. And then the paths are awfully muddy, so I don't know what I'm going to do with those, how we can make them safer, because Ezra likes to run up and down the paths and he's slipped a couple times on the mud. And I've slipped a couple times on the mud, so we'll see if there's maybe something we can do. I didn't want to mulch the beds and the paths because I wanted the beds to stand out from the paths, but if it's going to be muddy like this, then we might have to make a compromise. Anyway, so that's our update for today. 1,000 more square feet added to the garden. Raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, more tomatoes, and more broccoli have been added, and I still have more room. So, what should I plant?